Mine's more for post. I already know I want to go into a 16-week bulking cycle and gain. I know what I need to work on for next year. I already know. I guess maybe more for Nicole or maybe for Kim. I think he stepped out.
Or maybe
In between, so I already know, I've already set the date on when I'm going to start and I'm going to go back to everything. I already know I need to stay clean during that period, but what do we, I don't want to eat a bunch of candy and cry. I don't want to be one of those figure girls that gains 20 pounds back in 4 weeks. What do we do? What is your recommendation?
Honestly don't believe in bulking for a figure athlete.
Okay.
I think if you stay between 7 and 12 pounds of your contest weight, you have just enough body fat to feel comfortable with yourself and gain muscle in the off season. Okay. As long as you're lifting hard and consistent and you're taking in clean foods and with an occasional treat, I don't think that anyone should gain 25, 30 pounds because they think they need to gain muscle, because what happens is when you start losing for your show, you're going to have to diet so hard that you'll lose the lean muscle that you gained in your off season.
And that's what I don't want to do. But like say right now, coming out of this show and taking a little bit of time, basically we're just going to stay kind of clean is what you guys are saying, and what have you, and kind of prepping our bodies, kind of letting things wind down a little.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a different approach as far as this goes, but I think for me, I gain weight very easy. So I have to stay very good all year with an occasional treat. I have to really be mindful. I have to watch my portions. Eating crap isn't a problem. I have no problem eating clean all the time. It's the portions I have to watch, because it's easy for me to want to eat more. But I'll have a treat or two after the show, and then I don't skip my workouts the next week. I still do cardio. I still use those cheat meals to help with, you know, added strength in the gym. I've got a lot more energy than I did the week or two prior. And then I gradually, depending on how I let my body kind of adjust for the first couple weeks, because you're going to be holding water from the salt and the added, you know, veggies or whatever, the added water that you may or may not have, you know, tapered down for the show. And then if you continue losing weight, like your metabolism is spiked up, then you can gradually add calories. But I also carb cycle too, and that works well for me. So, you know, there are a lot of different ways to do it, but really just keep your portions in check, still eat every 2 to 3 hours, still eat clean foods, and then keep it, you know, kind of go from week to week and see how your body reacts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think everybody, when they get back from a contest diet, you know, you go and you have the big binge or whatever, and then you binge the next morning because it's breakfast, and we all love good pancakes and muffins and stuff. But what we mess up wise is, like, because that whole next week, you know, your mom bakes you cookies, your friends bakes you cake, and all of a sudden you've got all this crap at your house. Yeah, you haven't been able to eat for 16 weeks. Let's go to, you know, wherever to eat. If you have a tendency to eat something you're not supposed to eat, or you're not normally eating, the next thing you do is, like, you're full from it because you're stuffed. But you got to realize, if you're normally eating every 2 to 3 hours, even though you can't fit something in, you got to eat again every 2 to 3 hours, because your body has to start getting back on that cycle, and it'll start getting rid of what you've eaten because you're still staying on the cycle. Don't go, God, I just had the biggest breakfast ever. I'm not going to eat again until 3 o'clock this afternoon, because your body's just going to hold it. That's what the whole purpose of eating every 2 to 3 hours, because your body gets used to burning it off. If you start starving it again and not feeding it on a regular basis, it's going to hold on to everything you've given it, and that's all the fat and the crap and everything else. So if you do go and have that splurge, you know, still stay on that regular schedule. Just drink a couple of scoops of protein powder or something to get it in, so your body's going to burn it off.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, part of this is getting to know your body, because everyone's body's different, and that's one thing that Nicole was saying, that she knows how her body reacts to different things, and my body reacts very differently. You know, I drop weight really quickly, so I can tend to do a little bit different things, but you have to get to know your body. Be careful not to assume, and kind of go slow with it. Especially right when you come off of a show. Have a plan. It's really, really good to have a plan as to what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat it. Make sure you're getting that every 3 hours, and then kind of see. You know, you're wanting to put muscle on, so you want to be able to eat as much as you can without spilling over and getting really big. So you start slow and then add a little bit until you figure out where that is, where you're, you know, you're putting on the muscle but not going crazy. So, you know, it's a very individual thing.
This is totally off topic, but I go to shows pretty much every weekend. And those of you that are competing, I just wanted to make note of it. Like, when it comes to tan and your makeup, I would recommend using a professional tanner. If you're doing it yourself, make sure that your tan is not green, not yellow, not dark. But it's like, people try and save $100 or $50, whatever it is, and you've worked this hard on your body to get to on stage, and then your tan looks completely like garbage. And so make sure that you have a good tan. And then, ladies, with your makeup, if you do it yourself, make sure you know what you're doing, because stage makeup is completely different than you walking around going to the mall makeup. Don't look like a complete clown on stage, but also you need to have makeup, because those little things, maybe not on a smaller show, but when you get to nationals, when you become a pro, those things all matter. So hair and makeup, and I guess hair is the other thing too. It's like, I would recommend hiring a professional if you can't afford it, if you can't do it. I mean, a lot of women do it themselves, but just make sure that if you're gonna do it yourself, you know what you're doing and that it looks good. And again, it looks different on stage than you walking around, because it may look a little freaky when you're walking around in the hotel, but on stage it's going to look great. So just those little details, just make sure that you make note of that. So. Oh, honey, makeup.
I'm talking about makeup here. I'm a new Mac rep, so if you want to come talk to me afterward. So, exactly, I got to take this off. This is the Phil Heath thing that got me doing this. Just to answer the question about bulking, I'll let Kim talk about it too, but we get this a lot where you want to turn around and you go, bulking, I want to get bigger, I want to get fuller, whatnot. And with girls, you guys got to be really, really careful. You will either have somebody in the gym that is an ex-bodybuilder or a current bodybuilder guy that will turn around and say, you need to bulk, you need to get bigger. And what ends up happening is you put in about a ½ an inch on your shoulders or an inch on your shoulders, and then you put 2 inches on your waist, and then you end up worse off than you were when you started. And then you want to know by the time you get on stage again why things look so crappy. What you really need to focus on is getting rounder and fuller in body parts, and the way to do that is through carb cycling and to time your carb loading around the workouts that you're trying to get bigger. If you've got naturally big legs, don't do carbs the night before, cheat meals the night before you're going to train legs. Do them the night before you're going to turn around and do your shoulders, or if you need your back wider. Get those carbs in the night before or the morning of. If you train at night, get in the morning, do a higher carb meal, do a little cheat, some protein pancakes, throw in a little bit of maybe like a small pasta dish earlier in the day, and then turn around and you burn it off later that night when you're doing back, if you're trying to get your back bigger. But if you're trying to turn around and if you train in the morning, then you do the same thing the night before. You don't do it the whole day. You don't turn around and you go to the all-you-can-eat hometown buffet and think that that's okay because the guy at the gym talks you into it. What you do is you just really make sure the proportions are correct, and you go in and you focus on that body part. And again, don't turn around. If you're trying to lean out your legs, don't go out and do all-you-can-eat sushi the night before and hit legs the next day, because all you're going to do is make your legs bigger. So it's all a matter of carb cycling and carb timing. Does that answer your question? Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm going to end it here. I just want to say, though, for all the competitors here and for if any of your friends or family, tomorrow, right after prejudging, we're very fortunate. Steve Kukla was going to be here this evening to address any of the, the mail issue, mail questions and stuff, but unfortunately he's not. He's in Chicago. So Phil Heath was nice enough to grant us some of his time, so he will be at the venue right after the prejudging tomorrow. And again, I just want to thank everyone for coming, especially for the donations, like I said, for the hospital, and good luck to everyone tomorrow, okay? Thank you.